Like, how do you think God sees that perspective that we stop going to church? We don't go to church anymore. But it's a different, we don't go to church anymore. It's a different stop. Do you think God is mad at us because we stopped going to church?
No, I truly don't. That's kind of weird. I don't know. I do know that he's not mad.
Yeah. The reason I'm asking, because even, you see, you know the answer. It's a very, like, why would God be mad at you for not going to church? Mm-hmm. And especially your situation, why would he be mad? That's the reality. But then our anxiety is, but what if God is mad?
Yeah.
Because
it's always like.
Yeah. Like when I don't go. Yeah. When I don't go to church, like to work, and I'm here, because obviously we can take turns.
Yeah.
And I can go, you can go. But at the end of the day, it's not the same than going as a family. And that's something we haven't done
in a very long time.
I
think since February or March.
No, longer than that. Something like that. Yeah. But
it's like a toughie.
It's a tough place because you still feel that guilt.
Yeah.
But then it's like, why do I feel guilt? Like, God, you understand our situation. And I know, God's not like, oh, I'm mad at you. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, being in that situation, in that isolated world,
it's a whole different world.
It is a whole different world. Because we spend our whole day in these four walls.
Yeah. And typically, like, we would be in isolation from October till springtime. But now, like, we literally have been in isolation the whole summer.
Yeah.
And till next spring, till summer comes.
But even when we haven't been on isolation, mentally, we've been on isolation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is like...
And, I mean, it's a very rough spot. I mean, I know...
Now, people don't know... Some people watching, I'm hoping the majority know, but some that are not watching doesn't know why the situation
of being isolated.
And it's just the complexity of Abel's body, of how suppressed his immune system is, how many medications he's on, everything that happens to his body, his hands swelling, every single, even the minuscule, his white blood cells, the things that people don't think about with, like, the reality of, like, you had to be in our world to understand our world.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to ask you, what and where has Abel's illness, like, where has it placed you? Like, in what position has it placed you?
Like in every area?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, of course, mentally it has taken a toll because you're constantly, able being in isolation means you're also in isolation yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been very lonely. It has. And, I go back to the place where I sometimes feel that, like, some people don't understand why you fully go to that full extent of isolating yourself. But, to us, it's very crucial that we keep it that way, even though we don't want to.
Yeah, that's not what we want.
We do it by force.
By force, really yeah.
Because if it were for me, I want to take Abel out. I want him to experience the world. I want to take him to Pumpkin Patch.
Mm-hmm.
I want to, do stuff with him. Be normal.
Yeah, be what it is to be a normal family.
Yeah.
And that's what some people, like, there's been like comments and stuff like that. But when someone has a newborn,
Mm-hmm.
There's a very understandable stage that we go through when you're a new parent or you just have a newborn, and it's that no touch rule. Don't touch my baby. Don't clean your hands. Just don't even think about touching him.
And don't kiss them.
So then that phase is over, and they don't really. Now when they go out, they don't think about, okay, do I got his feeding pump? Do I got this? Do I got that? Like, do I have all of his stuff or her stuff?
Yeah.
And so we've kind of had to latch on to that, the no touching rule. Like we're still in that stage, but it's 2 years later.
Yeah.
And some people are like, you're overdoing it. Or you're exaggerating. Like when people want to visit, and we genuinely can't have visitors, or someone's sick, or something like that. And it's very.
I feel like some people like have mixed that rule that we.
Yeah. And it's
kind of flipped it.
For sure, and it's tough because. Do you think we want to be this way?
Yeah.
And then I also got to understand the other side. I get it. You don't really know what we've seen in Abel's situation, so I'm not trying to like the world doesn't revolve around us, but Abel is our world.
Yeah.
So everything around him revolves around us. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
like it's hard because, being in this isolation, you kind of detach from family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very lonely season, and there's been last holidays we didn't spend it with family. We were here home.
Even the first holiday, it wasn't.
Oh yeah.
I think we came home when he was first out of the NICU after 10 months or something like that. We were home, but we were still not. We since we've been practically married, we haven't had the opportunity to make an opportunity
and to spend it with them.
Yeah, and so a lot of people don't get that when you have a child or
a medically complex.
Medical complex. When you have a child or yourself has something complex, you're going to cancel last minute. You're not going to show up. You're going to say, yeah, I'll be there, then you can't, or you're going to leave early. And that's just the lifestyle that we're around in this season. Will it change? I'm praying it does.
Oh yeah, I think.
Do we not want people? Do we not want to? I'm at a place that I want to be around people. Like I think it's healthy to be around people. The word says that we're not supposed to be alone.
And I do feel like we have lost friendships, we have lost many connections, and because of the season that we're in.
Yeah.
And even then, our friends, I'm gonna be honest, and it's hurt. The friends that we do have, they exclude us. They exclude us because they think we can't because of our, they kind of assume before even asking, like an invitation.
Does that sound too real? It needs to be real. This is our therapy.
Yeah, I feel good. I feel like
I'm like releasing.
Me too, but I don't know. I struggle. Then you've seen me struggle a lot with that of feeling left out and uninvited and rejected because of the season we're in.
Yeah, the situation.
Yeah.
It's a very tough, like you would have to be in our shoes or be in a medical, complex situation. You want to be around people, but at the same time you don't.
Yes. That's so weird. Sometimes I am like that.
And you're like, am I just complicated? But it's like, no, it's just your surrounding is complicated. There's no schedule. Right now, we could be doing this, and in 10 minutes, 5 seconds, we're on our way to the ER. Or we're on our, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you, there's like, we don't, we can set our day like this, but then Abel just.
Yeah, and I think that, our friends and people who are in our lives have probably seen that spontaneous.
Yeah, for sure.
Things, and maybe that's why they don't.
Yeah, for sure.
This, But
then we also have to clarify.
Yeah.
The situation, because some people just, oh, está enfermo, or oh, he's sick, but it's deeper than that.
It is.
It's so much. Like, I mean, he has what, 30 something diagnosis. It's so much to it. We had to literally think when we leave. Do we have this? Do we have the monitor?
Yeah.
Do we have enough feeding bags? Do we have a G-tube kit in case he rips his other G-tube? Do we have oxygen? Does it have a hole in it? Is the oxygen even on? Like, so many stuff in order to get out of here.
It is.
So we genuinely want to be around, and it's like, but then it's like at the same time you can't be around. It almost, we sound very like confusing and very difficult.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you just need to trust God. We trust God. Trust me. We've been trusting God. One thing, like, okay, let's go back into the church, because we stopped going to church.
Yeah.
I remember I used to tell you when we used to take Abel to church.
Yeah.
I mean,
when doctor's orders were like, don't take him to public places.
Yeah, do not take him anywhere. Don't let him out. I remember I would tell Brithzy. I remember I would tell you. I don't know why. You see, I'm still working. I remember I would tell you, hey, we just need to have faith, and we just need to believe that Abel's healed. Which he is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's not.
Like, he's good, God protects.
And I remember I'll tell you, like, we just need to rebuke it. We just need to rebuke germs. It's like, now I realize how dumb how selfish do I sound, because like, we need Abel at his best so we can enjoy the next seasons.
Yeah.
But right now the season is he needs to be isolated. He needs to stay home. And so
it is good.
Yeah. And I remember sometimes you would look at me like, you're crazy, like. But my mentality was, no, we need to stay in church because we might miss the miracle. But then God's like, the miracle's right in front of you.
The miracle's in you.
The miracle is in you.
Yes.
And so, it's tough. We're still definitely trying to arrange the difficulty of our season.
So what would you tell parents that were in the same situation as us, that can't go to church?
I would just say, and I'm gonna keep it cliche. It's very simple. God is not mad at you because you stayed at home with a special needs child or a medical condition. God is not mad at you. So stop beating yourself up. And I'm speaking to myself as I'm saying this. And to you, stop beating yourself up that, oh, I missed out. I'm missing out there. I'm not able to go to church. God is probably mad at me. I don't even know if I'm going to go to heaven or hell because I don't even have a relationship at a church. I'm not serving, or I'm not doing anything spontaneous with my life. I'm just here while I'm stuck on my phone glued into Instagram and looking at everybody's highlight and everyone's having fun. Everything is so rainbows and I was gonna say giraffes, unicorns.
You can say that too.
You know, like all of this Instagram, Facebook, that's stop reflecting your life as someone's highlight reel. Your season will come. Our season will come. I'm gonna end this with positivity.
Yes, that's a very good point.
Our season will come. God it right now. How do you know? Right now, we're isolated. The only role we can play right now is the family role, being at home, nourishing each other, dinner table, reading books. Stuff. Right now, we're God is. It's not that God is, and a lot of pastors say this, but I love this. It's not that God is holding you back. He's getting ready to release and launch you. So it's what you do in this season that will affect where you land when God releases you.
Wow.
And Abel just farted. I just heard it. And so just that. Don't beat yourself up. God loves you and he understands your heart. Stop worrying about what people think because you didn't go to church today. Your season will come. And that's it. That's really it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
It really is.